And for the week, even though we were down a lot, actually at one point negative 13,000, happy to say, even though it's negative, we were able to limit our loss to negative $2,394.18. So how's it going? It's Rocky. Welcome to the Diaries of an Average Futures Trader, where I basically document my journey trading the futures market. And this is week number 18 of the year 2023. So this week was actually one of those tough weeks for me. If you check out my content from last week, I have a link above. I was able to basically recover from a big deficit. So I think for this week, which was an important week because there's a lot of earnings report, there was the FOMC, which is when the Feds basically talk about, increasing the interest rate or not to combat inflation. And of course in Europe also the interest rate adjustment from the central bank was also coming out. So there was a lot of data that was coming out this week. And basically, since I got lucky per se last week, I was a bit more hesitant to trade this week, and that is why if you look on this chart, which I'm showing here is the MYM, which is the micro. This is what I use to do my swing trades, so I'm usually long on this account. You can see that on Monday I made no trades because I closed out everything previously because I had great intentions to play it safe for the FOMC week. Yet at the same time I did not enter my trades with the same confidence I normally do. I was a bit hesitant, I guess. So normally when you're into sports, usually you play to win. How I played this week was I was playing not to lose. So those are two different psychologies that you ought to be aware of. So if you can see on my trades on this MYM, and if you look at this volume here, you can see Monday was really low volume. Everyone was waiting for the start of FOMC, which started on Tuesday here. And then you can see here, I'm gonna turn on my lines just to show you how my trades are doing. Sometimes I do this thing before the market opens. I would put some trades, like I would put like 100 or 200 points below what the close was to see if it'll take that trade. So not something I recommend, but I figured I'd do something like that with just 5 micros, which you can see here. I did enter at 34,102. So this occurred around 1 a.m. I was not awake at that point. And then there were more entries here that occurred at 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. So for those first 15 MYM contracts, I was, I guess you could say, guessing per se. So that was a silly move on my end. And then when I woke up and the market, was significantly lower at that time, 6 a.m., I decided to add 5 more. At that point, I was pretty bullish for the week. I'm not sure why. I think a lot of it was because of the action that occurred last week. I'm gonna go back to last week on what happened. So the movement that occurred on Thursday and Friday, it just showed a lot of bullish movement, and I think that's where my bias came that would be okay, and that's why I entered it, not as careful, I guess. And then as you can see, right at 7 a.m., this is Pacific time, see this big red candle here, that was a range of 389 points. So that's when the trouble started. And of course I was long, and I was like, oh, it's okay, this is just first day of FOMC, the market is just panicking a little bit, because I was expecting something very bullish from FOMC. And of course, they were starting to have issues again with banking, starting with PacWest in California. So the contagion talk was starting again. So came the next day. For this first day right here, I was actually down. The amount that I was down by was $3,088.96. So I post that daily on my social media accounts. And then the next day, he just kept going down some more. This is when the report came out and Jerome Powell was speaking. Everything was bullish at that point. Things were heading up. And then the last 3 hours of it, things were just dumping a lot. And at that point, I was just really frustrated. It was really tough on my mental health to go through this, and I didn't post anything, but I was close to, five figures in the hole at that point. And then on Thursday, so the dip just kept happening, and then on Thursday, that was another loss of $4,138.77. So this was a really tough week, on a week that I told myself I would be more careful. But thankfully on Friday, it shot up a lot. I managed things a lot better with my hedge and with my swing trade. And really my main goal on my Friday content, other than showing you my statement, is really just focusing on the emotions, the psychology that I go through, just so something that you could perhaps relate to, or maybe you can give me some advice, or maybe just me talking about my stories will help you with your own situation. So what I have here is the account statement for the week. I'm recording this on Friday, May 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo at 7:38 p.m. in the Pacific Coast. And what I'm showing on my statement here starts from this past Sunday on April 30th to today, May 5th, Friday. And if we look through the description here, I just want to go through that to point out that I did not make any deposits or withdrawal this week. It's actually quite important for me to make a withdrawal this week, but just because of the situation I put my account in, I did not make any withdrawal. Now, if we scroll back to the top, I just want to run through this really quick just so you have an idea of what occurred. So we started it at $40,125.92. I skipped Monday because I just wanted to be careful this week, but the opposite effect occurred, because you see here, we had a mark-to-market loss on Tuesday of negative $3,341, so that brought the account to $37,000. And then on Wednesday, another mark-to-market loss of $5,159.50, that brought the account to $33,000. And then on Thursday, the fall just continued, right? Basically another mark-to-market loss of $4,523. That brought the account all the way down to $29,000. So, and you can see there in between also, this is where I was using my hedge to try to manage it. So basically, in the market, everything is cyclical, and with my way of trading, I want the long, because just look at it from a macro way, market will always, most likely always go up over time for long-term trading. So I'm a set and forget kind of guy with my long-term investment. So that's the reason why I have that bias when I'm trading short-term. And I know it's a dangerous bias, and how I'm managing it is basically I use my hedge account to short to make sure this is my way of protecting that long swing. So on this Friday, it was, the market was pretty strong. Dow Jones increased 600 points or so. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ both hit 2% at one point. So this was pretty strong to bring the account back up to around 38,000. So with this one, I sold a lot of my MYM. I reduced my exposure there, and just happy to be able to basically fight back. On this Friday, I actually stayed up to 2 a.m. the night before, just watching the Asia market, the European market, and woke up again 4 or 5 in the morning for the US market. And it's not the type of trading environment that I like to be in, but there's times where it's just a battle, and that's essentially what I had to go through this week. So let's bring the calculator here just to see how we did for the week. Basically, our ending cash was $37,731.74, and our starting cash was $40,125.92. And for the week, even though we were down a lot, actually at one point negative 13,000, happy to say, even though it's negative, we were able to limit our loss to negative $2,394.18. So for the past 8 weeks, this is my first red week. So we gave back almost, negative 2.3 thousand for the week. But for the past 8 weeks, happy to say that I've been able to earn 20,000 for the account. So I think that's still great progress. I had to zoom out a little to remind myself that weeks like these do occur. You can't always win every week. The goal is really just to limit your losses as much as possible. Anyway, that's my account statement review for the week. I appreciate your time. Again, this is, Diaries of an Average Futures Trader. If you didn't like what you saw, give me another chance, and hopefully you like what you see next week. All right, y'all have a good one. See ya.